All right. In like the 400s BC, Rome was sacked by the Gauls. And you had this one guy who came in, a dictator, right? But dictators were different, back then. Like we think of dictators today, and Maduro just got captured, and he's a dictator, and all that stuff. But in Roman times, they were a republic, so they had their votes and their semi-democratic ways. And but if there was a crisis, they'd elect a dictator, and the dictator was supposed to handle the crisis and then hand back power to the republic, right? So this was a temporary fix to an existential crisis. Um, anyways, so Rome was sacked. It was sacked, destroyed, burned. The Roman patriarchs just like the Gauls came into the city, and all the young people went to the hill to fortify themselves because there's 7 hills there, but they went to one of them. And they fortified themselves. They were able to protect themselves, even though their city was being sacked. But many, or not, I don't know if most or many, but a lot of the old people of Rome said, no, you young people, you go fortify yourselves. We're no use to you. And there's these stories, whether myth or not, I don't know, of these old Roman men, and they're just sitting there. And the Gauls are rampaging through the city, and they walk up and they see these old Romans just sitting there, just chilling. Like, they're just chilling, and the Gauls go up and kill them and shit. But anyways, the city was sacked. And afterwards, there's a bunch of drama. The Gauls, and like if you listen to the Roman historians, think, oh my God, Rome faced so many existential crises throughout its history. Existential. We're talking Hittite existential, right? Like Gone with the Wind. And this is one of these moments, because the Gauls are attacking, but the Etruscans are kind of on the Gauls' side, because like the Etruscans have been pissed off at the Romans for a while. And of course you always have the Volsci who just racially hate the Romans. The Volsci are always attacking, until they're no more. Or most likely assimilated within to Roman culture. Anyways, because the Volsci, I think, are still with us, but whatever. So, anyways, so there's this big crisis that's going on. Like the Gauls are soon expelled because this guy who has been humiliated by his tribe, even though he's been a badass, and he got kicked out, and Roman soap opera drama. But he comes in, he saves the day, and he kicks the gulls out. And what ends up happening is that, and I see, I was in college, and they had a semester in Rome, and we lived south of Rome, in a campus south of Rome, that used to be a vineyard. And I walked through the Roman streets, and they were twisting and winding, just, and it was beautiful. It was just beautiful because you could just get lost in this beautiful fucking city. You could just totally, and it was just beautiful to get lost in a city. Now, of course, this is only a certain part of the city that you're being lost within. But the certain part of the city that you're being lost in is this old Roman part, because after the Gauls sacked the city and just burned it and shit, people just started grabbing property wherever, and the Senate, because like there's all these wars going on, and so people are like, hey, build a home and just build it wherever. And so like I was reading about the fucking 100 Years' War between the French and the English, and this English guy was coming into southeastern France, and they were talking about the building of these modern cities, and they were all grids. They were all grids, right? And so this is one of the things that always fascinated me about history, is that the Romans were seen as these Ned Starks. Like they're like the Romans are basically a plague of Ned Starks, right? According to the Greeks. Because one Ned Stark, they're easy to take down, but if you have a plague of Ned Starks, then they're going to conquer the Mediterranean. But like all these Greek cities and Phoenician cities and Mediterranean cities that are way more like awesome than Rome. Like Rome only became awesome after it died. There's you know, in early Roman days, Rome was a pitiful city amongst Mediterranean cities. But all these cities, as far as I know, they're all gridded. They're all gridded like a prison. And that's I think to me the rise of cities. The rise of cities is a sociological turning point within mankind, because this is the rise of the modern nation state. And when I mean nation state, I'm talking generic. You know, I'm not talking all the controversy between the republic, the democracy, or the monarchy, or the theocracy. You know, I'm not talking about. You know, I'm saying all four of these are, well, maybe three. The first three are the same. You know, the republic, the democracy, and the monarchy are all a result of the rise of the sociological change within mankind of the city state. Not to say that there was an idyllic time before that. I've already talked about that. But that's just the reality of today, and I'm not saying that's good or bad. You know, I'm not like anti-state here. I'm just saying that's just the reality of our human civilization, right? I'm just a messenger. I'm just trying to look at this rationally. But yeah, I don't know. The rise of the you know, I don't know. Because I went off on a tangent there. Because like for me, I don't know. I was like talking with my roommate one time in college, and he just didn't like the way I was talking. And he was like, But like for me, like I always, I've always been terrible in logic. I've always loved logistical fallacy. Oh my god! I learned logistical fallacy, and I was just like, this is so funny. But logic itself, I was bad at. But I'm imaginative, so it makes sense that I would be bad at actual logic. But I don't know. See, I just went off on the tangent right there. I'm loving life though right now. Oh, I'll get my pen out. I'll watch this video again, and I'll get back on it. Mm. But yeah, no, I like life right now. Like I made this other video on hope, and it's like, no, I like thinking. I do, and for me, I think we live in English-dominated society that has industriousness as the top virtue, and if you're a thinker, then you're not industrious, right? So you're a lazy bum, and so I'm a lazy bum in our industrious society. But damn, I love thinking, man. Damn, I do, and I'm not trying to like push anything on anybody. I just love thinking. Like shit, it's fun. Um, Nothing embarrasses me because I'm a thinker.